Well, I feel sorry for LeBron to put up this type of season, these type of numbers, and then we're probably not going to be even in the play-in game.
JJ Redick announced a couple days ago that LeBron James is done.
Yeah.
But there's a reason they went from second best record in the sport to under 500.
But sometimes as a man, you have to make decisions based on your well-being, right? And I made that decision based on me and my own happiness.
Something feels off around the Lakers right now, and the silence coming from certain franchise legends is somehow making the noise even louder. Because when Magic Johnson decides to post something about culture, leadership, or doing things the right way, right after another wave of LeBron drama hits the media cycle, people immediately start reading between the lines. That's exactly what happened this week, and now the entire basketball world is trying to figure out whether Magic's comments were just general observations or a direct message aimed at what the Lakers have become during this era. The timing is what turned this into a real story. The Lakers were already dealing with heavy conversations surrounding LeBron James, questions about leadership dynamics, off-season tension, roster direction, and public speculation about where the organization is heading next. Then, Magic Johnson enters the picture with a message that many fans instantly viewed as loaded with meaning. He didn't directly mention LeBron, he didn't call anyone out by name, but that almost made it louder. Because when somebody with Magic Johnson's history with the Lakers starts talking about culture, sacrifice, and team identity, people know there's usually more behind it than just a random social media thought.
Talk about we haters on here because we have an opinion on what this man has done. In our last podcast, we talked about if the Lakers won this series against Houston, you know, how would that change the narrative of LeBron James? I said, I don't think it changes it, but you got to give him a lot of credit because...
And this isn't happening in a vacuum. Over the past few years, the Lakers have constantly been stuck between two timelines. One timeline is the LeBron James championship window, where every decision is about maximizing the remaining years of an all-time great player still performing at an elite level in his late career. The other timeline is the long-term future of the franchise, what happens after LeBron leaves, who becomes the face of the organization, and whether the Lakers still operate like the Lakers historically operated before superstar player influence reshaped the NBA landscape. That tension has been visible for a while, but recently it feels different. The reactions around LeBron have become more emotional, more symbolic, and more connected to larger conversations about the organization itself. Every cryptic Instagram post becomes a headline. Every report about dissatisfaction becomes front-page news. Every rumor about roster frustration or direction gets amplified because people are no longer just discussing basketball. They're discussing power inside one of the most iconic franchises in sports.
It needs to be LeBron's last season because I don't want to see an uncommitted LeBron James. LeBron James starting off this season with a phantom injury, I believe. I don't want to see an uncommitted LeBron James, T, and I don't want to see a sorry LeBron James. I was born in '90. So my first real memory of Michael Jordan in real time, live time, was Wizards Mike.
Magic Johnson understands that better than almost anyone alive. He doesn't just represent Lakers history, he represents the standard Lakers fans compare every era against. Showtime basketball, internal accountability, star power mixed with organizational structure. So when Magic says something that even hints at concern over culture, fans immediately connect it to the current situation surrounding LeBron and the direction of the franchise. Here's the part nobody is talking about. The Lakers' culture debate is really a debate about control. Who defines the organization now? Is it still the front office and ownership, or has the franchise fully shifted into superstar-led decision-making the way many modern NBA teams have? Because every time tension appears around LeBron, whether it's roster construction, coaching decisions, or subtle messaging online, the conversation always circles back to one thing. How much influence should one player have over the identity of a franchise that existed long before him?
Well, I feel sorry for LeBron to put up this type of season, these type of numbers, and then we're probably not going to be even in the play-in game. This was a wasted season for him, and we can't waste seasons, Greeny, with LeBron James. You know, how many great seasons does he have left? And so we got to put a team around him that can compete for a championship.
That is why Magic's words hit differently. This was not some random retired player throwing out generic basketball advice. This is a man who helped define the Lakers brand itself. When he talks about culture, fans hear legacy. They hear expectations. They hear the idea that wearing a Lakers jersey is supposed to mean something bigger than individual agendas. And whether intentional or not, that becomes a contrast point whenever LeBron drama starts trending again. The interesting part is that Magic has publicly praised LeBron many times before. He has called him a Lakers legend. He has defended his greatness. He has acknowledged what LeBron accomplished by bringing a championship to Los Angeles in 2020. Even many Lakers fans who were initially resistant eventually accepted that winning a title cemented his place in franchise history. That part is not really debated anymore. The debate now is whether the Lakers' identity during the LeBron era has fully aligned with what this franchise traditionally represented. And this is where things start escalating, because once fans begin questioning culture, they stop arguing about wins and losses alone. They start questioning leadership, accountability, effort, chemistry, and long-term direction. Suddenly, every action gets interpreted differently. If LeBron posts something cryptic online, people assume frustration with the organization. If Magic posts something about sacrifice or standards, people assume it is directed at modern player influence. The entire environment becomes layered with interpretation instead of direct statements. Recent years have only intensified that feeling. Coaching changes, roster overhauls, inconsistent playoff runs, injury concerns, and constant media speculation. Some moves worked, others clearly did not. And because LeBron is LeBron, every decision gets attached to his presence, whether fair or not. If the team succeeds, his leadership gets praised. If the team struggles, critics immediately question whether the franchise sacrificed too much structure trying to maximize his timeline. Magic's message arrived right in the middle of that emotional landscape, which is exactly why people reacted so strongly. And to be fair, LeBron's side of this conversation matters too. Despite all the criticism and noise, he has still performed at a historically elite level deep into his career. Fans have even compared this late career version of LeBron to Magic Johnson's own later career style. Slower pace, higher IQ, controlling the flow without relying purely on athleticism. Some Lakers fans have openly said this version of LeBron resembles a modern Magic in terms of orchestrating offense and elevating teammates. That comparison alone shows how complex this conversation really is. There's also another layer. The Lakers are transitioning into a future that likely involves Luka Dončić becoming the centerpiece after LeBron eventually steps away. Magic himself publicly suggested that LeBron's professionalism could positively influence Luka's development. So now you have overlapping timelines, overlapping legacies, and overlapping leadership questions all happening simultaneously. That is what makes Magic's comments feel so loaded, because they arrive at a moment when the franchise is clearly balancing between honoring LeBron's era and preparing for whatever comes next. This is where it gets dangerous, because once culture conversations become public, they rarely stay controlled. Fans start choosing sides, former players subtly weigh in, media personalities turn every quote into hidden meaning. Suddenly, the organization feels less unified from the outside, even if internally things are not actually collapsing. That's the risk with cryptic messaging in today's NBA environment. Silence becomes interpreted as strategy, and vague comments become treated like direct attacks. Part of what fuels this entire debate is nostalgia. Lakers fans remember eras differently depending on when they fell in love with the franchise. Some grew up with Magic and Showtime. Others grew up with Kobe and relentless intensity. Others entered during the LeBron era and see him as the star who restored relevance and delivered a championship. Each generation defines Lakers culture differently, which means no current era will ever fully satisfy every section of the fan base. Still, expectations in Los Angeles are never normal. Winning one championship doesn't eliminate future scrutiny. With the Lakers, it only raises the bar again. That is why every playoff exit feels amplified. That is why every roster flaw becomes national debate material. And that is why Magic Johnson's words can still shake the entire NBA conversation with a single post. The reality is probably more complicated than either side wants to admit. LeBron has undeniably elevated the Lakers while reshaping the franchise around his timeline. Magic values traditional Lakers identity while also understanding modern superstar basketball. Both things can be true simultaneously. But the NBA media environment does not reward nuance. It rewards conflict and emotional interpretation. People aren't just reacting to a cryptic message. They're reacting to years of accumulated tension about what the Lakers are now versus what fans believe they should be. And when LeBron's era officially ends, that question becomes impossible to ignore. Because right now, the Lakers are standing between two identities. And Magic Johnson just reminded everyone that battle is far from settled.